And here we go. This is the first style of live that I've ever done like this, or not live, video. In the future, I plan on having a microphone. I thought I had a microphone, but it doesn't connect to my new phone. So we're gonna go like this. I'm gonna be doing my nails. I'm gonna be using the color Y Shoes. I'm going to be applying tips. And yeah, I'm gonna be yapping with you. So let's get started. And let's do my nails. We need a little bit of prep first. And so for prep, first thing I'm gonna do is take a buffer block and we're gonna file off the top shine. What I mean by that is, do you see the difference between this one and this one? And even this one. See how there's more of a shine to it? That's all we're trying to get rid of. It's not much. The one thing you don't want to do is overfile your nail. I'm going to make sure I got all the way down to my cuticle though on each nail. And I'm good on that hand. So, I'm going to be trying to instruct while I do my nails. I'm also going to be telling you a story that people often ask me to tell. And that is how we started the business. So, let me find my prep here. There it is. Prep. And I'm going to apply that to my nails generously. Messily, probably. And let that kind of evaporate and dry out my nails. This is a dehydrator. This dehydrates your nails on top of you scuffing them up. So, let's talk about how the business started. How did we start the business? So a long time ago, let me think, many moons ago, when the earth was, I don't know, I was gonna say when the earth was much younger, but that's not a thing. Many moons ago, I was gifted by my sister-in-law a dip kit to do my nails. I might need to use different tips because I think we might be out of the right sizes for me. Let me use different ones. I was gifted a kit. It was a peppy gel kit. And I started doing my nails. And actually, no, the one I was gifted to begin with was one that you get at, like, where was it? At, like, Sally's Beauty, you know? And the first time I did it, I was so bad at it. So bad at it. I ruined the kit. I ruined the liquids. And I was just horrendous at it. And then I got, that was maybe like Christmas gift, and then I got gifted a peppy gel kit from the same person for my birthday, because she was like, well, maybe this will be like easier to use, you know, because she was using peppy, but it was a little bit more expensive, and so she didn't want to gift it to me in case I didn't like it. But since I wanted to do it, she decided to gift me the peppy one. So I started using that, and I liked it. And I started using it. And then the next Christmas, I asked for like more colors from peppy. And from like my family and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I got some more colors. Then as I was doing my nails, my husband at the time, he's my ex-husband now, was like, wow, this is like really expensive. And I was like, no, it's not. It's a lot cheaper than going to get your nails done at the nail salon. And he like looked at it and was like, you're right. However, he was reading some like entrepreneurship books at the time. Small break from the story. We're going to switch to applying. I'm going to use my base liquid to apply the tips. And yeah, that's what I'm about to do. So in order to do this, this is the thickest I will ever ask you to apply base liquid. It needs to be thick in order to form to your nail, if that makes sense, especially if you have a little bit of flatter nail beds. If your nail beds are super flat, full coverage tips might not be for you. But if they're just a little flat, I would recommend you use just extra of the base to get it to stick. The thumb I will hold the longest. It takes the longest to adhere without bubbles. If you're getting bubbles, you need to apply more base. Anyway, so my husband at the time was reading entrepreneurship books, and he started doing some research on like trying to find suppliers for this type of business. I gotta grab something. Oh, never mind, it's right here. And so he came to me and was like, you know, I think we could do this same thing they're doing. He goes, I think I found their supplier. I think we could do this for cheaper. So I was like, okay, you know, I was very supportive of like, if you want to start a business, fine, let's go. And it was very much in the beginning his baby. But he didn't want to put a lot of money into it in case it failed, or any money actually. So he wanted to do basically like a Kickstarter, but not actually Kickstarter, because it's not really like a new concept. He just wanted to do like, it's called crowdfunding, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's called crowdfunding. So he wanted to basically pre-sell all these kits and then use that money to buy the product, so that customers, the initial order that they were, you know, having would take a little bit extra, like a little longer. It was, I think, 3 weeks, and then we would have a stock of product by then. Smart idea. We sold less than we thought we would when we launched. We sold a little bit though. We had some money. And so, but not enough to buy, I think it was like 25 colors that we were going to buy pre-made from this company. And we didn't sell enough to do their minimum order quantity for the 25 colors. So he was like, you know, should we just call it quits, like it didn't work, or what should we do? I don't want to invest our money to buy the 25 colors. What should we do? So then I said, well, how many colors did people buy? So we looked at it, and it was like everyone who had bought from like basically 10 colors. So there were only 10 colors that we actually sold out of everything. So I said, what would happen if we just bought those 10 colors in bulk and launched the company with just 10 colors? So we did that. And it was fine, but obviously people are going to want more than 10 colors. 10 is not a lot. So, or the choice of more than 10 colors. So pretty quickly we needed more colors. And again, there was the obstacle of not wanting to, my ex-husband not wanting to put our money into it. So I did some research and I was like, okay, I think I could make colors. Like, what if, because my husband had said that we could order, it's cheaper if we order the powder loose and jar it ourselves. And I was like, well, I don't know why we want to do that, but I realized, I said, I think I could make it myself if we bought in bulk, loose, all of the primary colors of the rainbow, plus white, black. I don't remember if we had brown at the time. I could make the powder by mixing those colors together. Cool. So we ordered that. And it was like 5 pound pails. 5-pound pails. They're like paint cans. And I started mixing colors together. But you can only mix so much out of the primary colors, right? And they're all solids. So then I started researching pigments, started researching glitter, started researching foils, all that stuff, and started collecting all those things. Then still only spending business money at this point. Ever, actually. We never put any of our own money in. Then after that, we were just having, promotional issues. Like, how do we get clients, new customers? So I had the great idea of, why don't I go live making colors? I think it's something people would want to see. My husband was kind of apprehensive about that. His only concern was, okay, here, by the way, what I'm doing is I have a nail that, the tip of it curls down. So what I'm doing is I'm filling that space so that I don't have any extra open space between my natural nail and the nail there. Because this part right here was all just open. My husband was apprehensive because he was worried that if I went live making the product, that people could very easily steal my concept. And I just said to him, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And that's where we started to gain clients, more so like attention. We had tried, I can't remember if at this point, I must have still worked at that point. We had tried a lot of different things at that point, and we had tried like Facebook ads, we had tried Instagram ads. It was not working. We had tried everything. We had invested like thousands of dollars in Facebook ads to get quite literally nothing back from it. So I have a hard time with doing paid advertising because I've never seen a benefit from it, ever. No matter how different you try things or what you do, I've never seen a return from paid advertisement. So we don't do it. We have gotten thus far without doing paid advertising. TikTok, it's a good platform. So there's that. I just scratched my face. Ow. I'm using these swabby things, by the way, to just kind of clear excess. Ta-da! Okay, let's put that aside. And this is going to, so if I have any extra liquid around my cuticle, this is going to kind of break that gap. Anyway, so we started to grow after we did live, and we ended up getting to a point with things that I asked to have mostly like sole control over over the business, because my husband is very frugal, which is a good skill, but he's very frugal, and sometimes I would struggle to grow the business because he didn't want me to spend money on things, to take a risk on things. So I asked to have more singular control of the business for a little while, and he granted me that, realizing that his skills are more so in setting things up and infrastructure, and less with like sales, that kind of thing. So I got more control over that, and I was able to do more videos and really kind of hone in on some growth. So then we did get to a point where it wasn't that I was making any money. We have that until then. This is 2020. We had not made any money yet. We launched in 2019, but like at the very beginning of 2019. Or yeah, 2019. But thus far we hadn't made any money for ourselves. We had just been using that money to then grow the business or buy more things that we needed for the business. It's true what they say of like, you don't make a paycheck for the first like 3 years. That's true. So then, sorry if I'm shaking the table. So then this is a stiletto shape, by the way. So then we got to a point where we could kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. We were a year into COVID, and we made a deal that I could quit my job and he would give me a year to replace my salary with the business. And I would replace, until then, I would replace half of my salary with DoorDash, Instacart, that kind of thing. So, I did that. And I did it in 6 months. I had a viral video hit in June of 2021. And I was able to start taking paychecks for the first time. That's when things started to blossom. I did it for another let's just say we moved out of the basement of my house in 2023, February of 2023, so the beginning of 2023. I had employees. Well, my brother worked for me. My brother worked for me in 2022. And then in 2023, no, end of 2022, I hired other employees. Tori was the first one. And then they worked in my basement until we moved into the warehouse. And now we're in the warehouse. Can't remember when I hired Callie. It feels like she's always been with me. I feel like it's been at least 2 years. It's probably just been 2. I don't know. Maybe 3? I don't know. It's possible that I was paying Callie before I was paying myself. That's possible. She would know better, and I don't have her because this is not live, so I can't ask her. So that's the story of the business. So now we're in 2025, January, and what we have for the future is what I'll talk about next. So we're just getting to the end of the tips. What time is it? I have a live in 45 minutes. How weird is that? Okay. Ta-da! Alright, we are ready for color. I'm going to use the color Why Choose. So, we're going to do Why Choose and base liquid. You're going to see me come in with activator from time to time. Close that. Activator will harden and adhere it to my nail, and then we will do a final top coat at the end. So, first, we'll do one nail together, tutorial wise, and then I will start talking again about other stuff. So I'm gonna go about 3/4 of the way down the nail, and then I'm going to dip into the product. And brush away the extra with my powder brush. We're gonna go do that again, only we're gonna go all the way down to the cuticle this time. This color is very pretty. Then we're gonna go down one more time, and we're gonna go all the way down to the cuticle for the last time as well. Sorry if it's a little blurry when I'm applying liquid. The camera doesn't like when we're that close. I'll do my best to try to be a little lower, but okay, now we're gonna go with activator. The activator will dry the nail like to the touch within like maybe 15 seconds, and it'll be hard. So once it's activated and the activator is physically dry, you could walk away and go do something else and you're not gonna damage your nail. So that's pretty cool. That's one thing I like the most about dip. You're not gonna get like divots or anything. That's still sticky, sorry. In your nail. Now it's dry. You're not gonna get divots or damage them at this point. So that's what's cool. All right, so let's keep going. So the future. I don't know, January is a really interesting time to talk about that. And right now all the future is very theoretical, because if you know me at all, you know that I just went through a divorce. And it's different not having a 50-50 partner. I very much treat Callie like a 50-50 partner. But I do not have to do that. So at the end of the day, I have all the power and all the control, which sounds great, but it also means I don't have somebody else responsible to, or and I don't have someone else to like run things by, really. That's why I have Callie. I do have her to run things by. So I see owning a building in our future. I will own a building before I own another house. Warehouse is top priority ahead of me owning a home. So I see potentially the dream would be to buy a piece of land, a mixed zoned piece of land a little bit further out in the country, and build a warehouse on that land that also has enough space for me to build a house at some point. But first, the warehouse will be built. I could build a living space, within the house or within the warehouse if I want. But that's the goal for the future. I have another 2 years on this lease for the warehouse. So I would need to buy land by like end of this year, in order to potentially start building and have a building ready when I need to move out. So these are the plans. So this year has to be a good year for us and needs to be going really well. It's also a year where it's possible TikTok can be banned. Oops, I went all the way down to my cuticle. I didn't really mean to do that. Which, like I said before, I've never really had good success with any type of other platform or ads. Oop. Hence vlogging. We're trying some new stuff, as you can tell. So the different stuff that we're trying is YouTube. Ta-da. Pinterest. We are all in on Pinterest right now, which seems a little weird, but Pinterest is doing some interesting stuff for sure. So we're all in on Pinterest. We will continue to be all in on TikTok no matter what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not even going to assume it's going to be banned because I don't know that that's true. And we will be passively in on Instagram. Instagram has never really given us much. It's actually always been our like lowest serving platform. So we're not really like super on board. I'm sorry I keep doing that. So that's where we're at with that. We like Lemonade, but Lemonade will also get banned if TikTok is banned, so that's kind of like a no-go. When we do lives, haven't for sure figured it out yet, but if TikTok gets banned, we will be live on YouTube, I believe. I believe that will be our new live platform. So, these are pretty, huh? So that's kind of social media wise what we see in the future. Otherwise, this year, Tori will go to college, team member wise. So we will be losing her, which is a huge blow for sure. And then, like, all of the girls will be going to college. Sid will be going to college. Elise will be going to college. The only person I will be keeping is Amani. So I will need to replace all of my warehouse staff almost at the end of this year, or well, not even the end of this year. Not even the end, in the end of summer. I'll need to replace all of my warehouse staff, which is crazy. Crazy. I also hope to fly Callie out here maybe 2 more times before the end of the year, or 2 times this year, I guess. We did it 2 times last year, so we should be able to do it 2 times this year. Once during summer and once during Black Friday. The goal is really to have her out quarterly, so that would be like 4 times a year, but who knows. This quarter we have a business trip, so that's not here, so that will probably be this quarter's Callie coming, because we will see each other. And then book club. Let's talk book club. So Dana and I do the podcast for book club. I have decided that going forward, book club is going to essentially be what I would consider like a customer perk and nothing more. So we're not gonna do boxes that that go with the book. We're not going to do products that go with the book unless it's just like an occasional small product or something like that, or we make, you know, ones on the live that go with the book, because it makes book club too stressful for me, and then it makes me not want to continue with it, because it actually isn't like that lucrative for us to do like a book box. It costs so much money and time to put it together that at the end of the day, it's just not valuable for us to do. So we shouldn't do it. So my thought with book club is that it will just be a side thing that customers can participate in or not. And the podcast is there as like a fringe benefit of being a customer. Hopefully someday the podcast itself could stand on its own to, you know, bring in some cash maybe, but it doesn't have to. We could do some form of donation to the podcast, and that would be good and helpful for Dana and I. But outside of that, like, we're not going to be like doing much else with the business other than just talking about the podcast. So that's what we've decided to do. We will also take breaks during the busy times of the year for Dana and I. For me, that was absolutely, and for Dana, was absolutely Christmas season. So we took a 2-month break. Black Friday and Christmas season. So we took a break. And we're gonna be back. But the break was so needed. So I'm really glad that we did it. I wouldn't have been able to continue the podcast either way. There we go. I have this, you see this fuzzy? It's driving me crazy. I'll be able to file it off, but it's just driving me nuts for now. All right, we have one more nail. And then we start shaping and buffing. Now, if you apply well and carefully, you shouldn't have to do much filing and shaping. That is the biggest goal. And I will be, usually I'm the type of person where I hear that and I'm just like, whatever, right? But I am so on board with that these days. After I've seen the benefit of it, I will never go back to being like, whatever, and haphazardly apply the product to my nails. I will never go back to that because it is so much easier. Okay, why choose? Now I'm gonna take everything bye-bye while I do this. And I'm gonna seal my powder because I do not want this file dust to go into my color powder. So that's just like a little PSA. So all I'm gonna do with my nail file is reinforce my shape, sharpen it up. Okay? Nice and sharp. Sorry if I'm shaking the table and therefore shaking the camera. Someday I will just like mount it to the wall or something. But we are just filing at an angle. To sharpen. We're quite literally sharpening our nails. Filing them into a point because I am doing stiletto shape. Ta-da! Pointy. This side's always a little bit more difficult for me. I always get the angle just a little wonky. Sometimes I think too, like, sometimes with your non-dominant, you just kind of like, you just kind of accept certain things. And that is, for me, that the shape of my stiletto is a little wonky. And I also think that for me, sorry, I gotta do this at the edge. I also think that for me, this finger, I'll show you in a second. This finger is crooked, so it kind of, I don't know, goes like that. Okay. This is a buffer block. This is going to make sure that your nails are all the same. There's no bumps and lumps. Smooth. Smooth nails. And I'll show you the one part that this doesn't get, that we'll get at the very end. Ta-da. Okay, the one part I can't get done is, you see that? And this. Okay. This part is on the skin, so that is it's not actually product on the skin, it's just a little bit of like discoloration, so that's not overlap right there, FYI. Okay, so here, now, we're gonna reactivate. And you see how dusty and whatever it looks? Just gonna... Okay. This is when you reactivate, this is gonna show you what your nails are gonna look like for a couple seconds before it dries. And that's when you put the top coat on. And that is what you want to look at as you apply activator on each nail, to make sure that you like the way that it looks and you don't have any more filing to do before you apply your top coat. So I just look at each of them as I apply the activator and go, how does that look? Do I like that? Before I'm ready to apply the top coat. Now this is your waiting game. So you need to wait a few minutes, about 2 minutes, before you can actually apply your top coat. And you need to wash your hands. So I'm gonna take you with to wash my hands. Just on this phone though, not on the other. And then we will do the top coat. Okay, so yeah, scrub brush. Now, wash your hands, no soap. I use soap, but you shouldn't. Here's the deal, you're not supposed to use soap, but I use soap because it really works for me, and I don't like to change things when they work for me. But if you use soap and your top coat brush hardens, not our fault, because I said, and I always say, you're not supposed to use soap. It never hardens for me. I've changed the type of soap, whatever, but you're not supposed to. Okay, I usually dry with a paper towel to make sure that it's really, really dry. And then we can go. We're gonna do our top coat and then cuticle oil, and then we done. Okay. And I have a live in 25 minutes. So we're back. We're looking good. Happy with them. They're beautiful. This color is beautiful. Here's our top coat. Okay, when you apply top coat, the first layer applies super shiny, but then it dries very ick. Like, I'll show you. This is not dry, not dry, not dry. It's starting to dry. You can tell in the reflection. If the reflection is very, very shiny, it's not dry. If it looks dull, like that, it's dry. So the nail is now dry. You cannot apply the second layer of top coat until the first layer is dry. If you do, your second layer will not dry. And when you go wash your hands or whatever, you will have white splotches on your nail. I'm gonna apply the second layer here. And then that takes about 60 seconds to dry, the second top coat. Don't lean in close while you do this. You will sting your nose. Sorry, I'm sick. Nice. Now let's do the other hand. Let it dry. I like to try to return the brush to the bottle after every nail. Gonna let that dry. So let me know in the comments if you like this style of video, what other longer stories or anything that you would like to hear on a vlog manicure. And yeah, generally, if this is the type of content you were looking for, if you have any manicure questions or now longer tutorials, I'm fine with, but I am not always the best person to show you how to do certain kinds of manicures. I can try. It's not that I'm not good at them. It's not my like strong suit to do tutorials of like different types of manicures, if that makes sense. So here we are, and now we need cuticle oil. Make sure your nails are dry when you apply cuticle oil, and do not apply it to your nail, just the skin around. Cuticle oil, vitally important. You might not realize this, but cuticle oil is what makes you have healthy natural nails. You need cuticle oil. You just dried out your cuticles by doing what we did. Your cuticles are going to be mad at you. And mad cuticles don't produce healthy nails. You want to foster the environment in which your nails are growing. They are growing in the environment of your cuticle. And then let's show the finished result in a better light. There. Sorry, guys. Wow. I need to be a better vlogger. Alright, and that is it. So, thank you for attending my vlog, and I will see you later. Let me know how we did, and if you like this style, and we will see you later.